and welcome to another Kung Fu Panda video. So, obviously the trailer for the fourth movie is coming out today, and I would just like to do a quick video kind of looking at all the villains. I was gonna try and, drag it out into 3 videos, but no. So, obviously we're gonna start off with Tai Lung, the only character so far who is 100% confirmed to be in the fourth movie as far as the villains go. And it seems like he's gonna be in the trailer. Now I'm hoping they keep the animation style the same. The Spider-Verse animation works for Puss in Boots 2. Kung Fu Panda 4 needs to stay the same, please. So, starting off with Tai Lung. This guy was an absolute menace. He was the perfect starter villain for this trilogy. And he was the perfect opponent for Poe because obviously Tai Lung had spent his entire life training and he basically became a pun unintended a master. Um, but he was shown even in the movie his introduction was one of the best scenes in any DreamWorks movie. I feel like it's not really appreciated. Like when Zen, I believe his name is, or I don't know what the bird's name was, when he visited Chongon prison, the rhino, he's like, one way in, one way out, 1,000 guards and one prisoner. That is one of the most awesome lines because it really sets up Tai Lung even before we meet the guy, before we even see, what he actually looks like. It already tells you that they have an entire prison just for this one guy. And you're like, there's absolutely no way he can escape. But in one of the best action sequences, he somehow escapes using the feather. Of course, proving Oogway right with the whole one often meets his destiny on the road he takes to avoid it. Tai Lung is probably the only villain of this franchise who is truly broken. And I think is the only one who could be redeemed because looking at the others, Lord Shen was just pure evil. There is no way. I understand at the end of the movie, there was that little chance he could have been redeemed, but there really is no hope. Same for Kai. Tai Lung, I feel if they actually bring back the characters, that's the only thing about Kung Fu Panda 4 which I'm skeptical of is are they actually gonna bring back the villains or is it just gonna be the chameleon shape-shifting into the villains? Because if they bring back the real Tai Lung, I feel like he's gonna be redeemed. I feel like redeeming Tai Lung will be a genius idea because in the first movie, Shifu was so close and he actually got a bit of emotion out of Tai Lung after God knows how many years when he apologized. But obviously, Tai Lung's greed and desire for the Dragon Scroll got the better of him. And that is just what makes him the perfect opponent for Poe, is how fixated he is on getting this Dragon Scroll. One thing that I also want you to remember throughout the video is each villain of this movie represents something. Tai Lung, yes, of course, he does have certain abilities, but he relies mainly on strength. He is a very physically strong character. And that's what I also loved about him is his physique, his design. It is so simple. Him being a cat, I thought was a genius idea because, of course, that is how they could have used, that's how they made him escape. He used his tail to grab the feather. And, the snow leopard is such a gorgeous creature. And making it a villain, I thought was a brilliant idea. And, going back to what I was saying, he is broken. Like, he spent his whole life just hoping and praying to be the Dragon Warrior. His hopes were built up. He had dreams, but they were all crushed just because Oogway said no. And that is obviously the main motive of him. He just wanted to be the Dragon Warrior. A very basic motive, just looking at it with no context. But as a starter villain, that was amazing because Poe didn't even mean to be the Dragon Warrior. He didn't want to, and that is why he was the perfect contrast to Tai Lung. Overall, Tai Lung was a perfect villain, and also one thing that I have to say for all the villains is their voice actors. Oh my god, I mean, come on. Like Tai Lung has Winston from John Wick. What the hell? That is so awesome. But now moving on to what'll probably be the longest segment of this video. Lord Shen. How do I begin with this? Knew coming into this video, Lord Shen was gonna get the most praise. This is a villain who I can 100% say is flawed. He is the perfect villain, not just in DreamWorks history, but he is one of the best villains in animated movie history. He is absolutely amazing in every aspect. Everything from a villain is exactly what Lord Shen. You know, I know a lot of people love Death from Puss in Boots too, and so do I. Gotta be honest, it is close between these two, but I had to pick Lord Shen simply because Death's whole was, obviously yes, he was doing his. The thing is that he wasn't really in the movie that much, and that doesn't affect his character. Of course, that's what I wanted. I don't want to be in the movie 4/7. That's what made him scary. Is that he every now and again. Lord Shen has a massive chunk of the movie. The movie is with him. Obviously, yes, but the third movie, yes, it begins with Kai, but the first see is Uguay, and then it leads to Kai's entrance. With Lord Shen, it begins with the narrator explaining what Lord Shen, what vile, cruel bastard goes and kills an population just so that he can preserve his own life. And it just blows how they were able to make it so terrifying. Because, as Tai Lung with the design, Lord Shen is a beautiful white, black, and red peacock. The peacock is such a creature. It is majestic, and they took it and turned it into such a horrible character. And that's what really blows my mind. His facial expressions, his eyes, his ability to create like the knives and the swords and everything was just fantastic. And I mean, his introduction was taking out three masters. He killed one of them, Master Rhino. And oh my god. But of course, just like with Shifu, of course, met his destiny on the road. He did. Lord Shen did. He killed the pandas, went being killed by the pandas, and he ended up being killed by the pandas. Yeah. Also, his voice, Gary Oldman. God, he's amazing. As I said, Tai Lung kind of represents that, because he's a very strong character. And he's like the weaponry. He relies a lot on weapons. He's not a good fighter. He still handled three, you know. He creates swords. He obviously has weapons. He relies a lot on weaponry. But his connection to Poe, which is what makes him a phenomenon. He made Poe the character he is today. I think that's what's insane. And also, I know there's a lot of people who how the warrior that Soothsayer was speaking about wasn't actually was Shen himself, because he's technically, he does have some black on him, so he is black and white, really. And Poe didn't kill him, didn't defeat Lord Shen. Shen killed himself because, of course, he the cannon fall onto him. He just stood there and accepted his fate. Just a perfect villain, in every aspect. And voice acting, production, then also his outfit. Oh, so regal. Choice to have a peacock be the villain was just amazing. It is time to move on to J. Jonah. I mean Kai. Kai had a really good introduction. Of course, us meeting Uguay for the first time since the first movie, and Kai obviously tries to kill him. And Kai He doesn't look like it, but Kai is a bull. And I think it was a great decision to have a big, bulky animal be the villain this time because, of course, in the first movie, Tai Lung is a snow leopard, a very agile creature. Lord Shen was a very majestic and regal peacock. And now we have Kai, who is a bulky bull who, oh man, that is crazy. And just gonna start off with his voice actor, J.K. Simmons. Oh man, obviously probably most famous for J. Jonah Jameson from the original Spider-Man movies and of course the new ones. But yeah, I mean, I didn't even notice that it was J. Jonah Jameson. But also, one thing about this movie that I kind of want to praise is Kai's theme. Because not only is his theme awesome, right? But I went to an Imagine Dragons concert. They came to South Africa. And then I heard the song. And I've never heard the song in my life. And when I was listening to it, when the song started, I was like, this sounds a lot like Kai's theme. But then once Dan Reynolds goes, I'm so sorry, I was like, holy shit, it is exactly the same as Kai's theme. But obviously, I knew that the theme would have been based off of the song. As soon as we got back to the hotel, I went and Googled and I saw that Kai's theme off of the song I'm So Sorry by Imagine Dragons. Cause that was just mind blowing, honestly. And it really is. I didn't know the song before I went to the concert. But anyway, yeah. Kai obviously is a fantastic villain. As I said, each villain represents something. Tai Lung represents the physical aspect, the physicality. Lord Shen is orientated. Kai kind of represents the spiritual side of things because, of course, the whole thing with Kai is that he's taking everyone's chi, and chi really their energy, their life force. And Kai was just a very, I wouldn't really say broken. He's like in the middle of the two, but very much like Lord Shen, he saw something positive and took the negativity and he made it like negative, he made it dark. Lord Shen saw darkness in the fireworks, and Kai can be given can also be taken. I think also his blades also just adds to his design. It really is gorgeous. I absolutely love that. And he wields them well. Kai is strong, but he also uses the blades well. And I mean, he did take out the entire Furious Five and Shifu. And obviously, it ended with him. Kai is he is a fantastic villain. The only reason why he's kind of undermined is because Kung Fu Panda 3 leans a bit more into the comedy, and Kai is kind of the only serious part of the film because everyone just forgot him. No one knows who he is. That's what kind of makes the moment when Poe is like, maker of widows. And Kai's like, thank you. Kind of makes that moment really good. But yeah, Kai was a really good villain, and the green I think was a perfect color for him because obviously every villain had like a certain color representing them. Tai Lung was blue, Lord Shen was red, and Kai is very much green. I loved the fact that he was able to just create these jade zombies of all the masters. I'm really excited to see Kai come back. Of course, hoping that they bring back the actual Kai and it's not the chameleon just shape shifting as him. But yeah, Kai I thought was a good to wrap up the trilogy. But as I said, no one will beat Lord Shen. I think, most people can agree that the Kung Fu Panda trilogy, yes, it is DreamWorks' best franchise. Shrek is their most popular, Kung Fu Panda is their best. And Kung Fu Panda, by far, has the best villains. They were truly just phenomenal, and I'm so happy to see them come back. And I'm hoping that Viola Davis's Chameleon will be keep up that standard because we have had amazing villains of this franchise, and I'm so excited for that trailer.
So if you did enjoy, please leave a like, subscribe, and goodbye.